Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, now, what you're seeing on your screen here is a TV show called Survivor, which it's a pretty popular show. All right, on CBS, which they have it on these different subscription-based applications, and I watch it, and as I was watching, one of the seasons, it finally hit me. All right, it dawned on me. All right, a lesson that I wanted to bring out from the show. Okay, now in the show, they basically, for those that are not familiar with it, they basically have, I believe, about 30 people, or certain amount of people, all right, who you apply to it, and the goal is they take you to an island, all right, wherever they hosted that year. They take them all to an island, and then they split them up into different tribes or different teams, and they basically live on the island, and they have to survive. They have to compete with each other in challenges, win rewards, and the team that loses goes to what they call tribal council, where they vote somebody off the game. All right, now what I noticed watching season after season after season, all right, is the nature of the individuals that play this game. All right, which is not just them, but it's common nature, all right, that comes out of people, all right, when they're put in desperate situations. And now the goal of this game is to be the last one in the game, or the last two or last three, and you basically have a chance of winning that $1 million, right? The sole survivor, they call it, wins $1 million. So as I'm watching it, I'm keeping in mind how this is over $1 million, right? Money. But when you look at the things that people will do, the things they'll say, how they'll lie, they'll deceive, they'll betray, they'll backstab, they call it blindside, even their own allies. Now there was a season where it was I think it was Blood versus Water or so, where it was a loved one, okay, a loved one or a family member, so there was a one, maybe you came with your brother would be on the other team, you'd be on the other team with everybody else whose other family member would be on the other team, and you have it to where, people backstabbing their own family. I mean, all this, that, and the third, okay, all for $1 million. You literally look the person, and I mean, it just, what it does is you may have people that come into the game, with the mindset of integrity, and it's very, very seldom that you see somebody either get voted off or make it to the end or play their whole game showing that character and integrity. But for the most part, the rest of them just end up turning into straight cutthroat liars, manipulators, deceivers, look you in the face and say one thing and turn around. I mean, just straight up. Okay? And I'm sitting here thinking about it. Well, I'm like, well, this is for $1 million. And of course, it's a game show. There's certain things you cannot do. But I'm thinking about it. Well, in real life, how much further, all right, will people be willing to go when your life is on the line? People are willing to betray family members, betray friends over money, over $1 million, over a game. All right, and we're talking about, here it is, your whole life, right? So they're willing to do all this and that, all right, for money. Now we know how bad it's gonna get out here, where there's gonna be little to no food, little to no water, no protection, no restrictions, none of that. Okay, none of that. And you're gonna have, and I'm gonna go through a couple of precepts, all right, because this is another aspect of the ministry, all right, that you gotta keep in mind, that betrayal, okay, betrayal is gonna be a big thing as well. It constantly, man. Throughout history, betrayal has been a common thing, all right, especially in times of adversity. And you'd be surprised who'd be the ones that turn on you, okay, because of lack of integrity. Now, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 9, verse 4, and it says, And anybody who watches it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, it says, "Take ye heed every one of his neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders." And you see exactly that in that show. And it's funny they call it Survivor, right? It says, and you actually have individuals, because they speak, and then you actually have individuals that say, yeah, man, I'm at this point, I'm willing to backstab anybody, it don't matter, you my mom, my day one, you risked your life for me, I don't care, I'm stabbing you in the back, I'm getting that money, and that's basically what it turns them into, because that's what people want to see, that's what sells, oh, I can't believe they actually did the drama. But when you look at it from a spiritual perspective, this is actually what that adversity does to these people, which shows you in a situation like that, when your integrity is tested, if you have little to none, you won't show forth any honorable acts. All right, you'll turn straight cutthroat because of simple simulated adversity. Oh, there's barely any food on the island. How are we gonna get food? How are we gonna start a fire? All this, that, and the third. And you can just see it, how people just get fed up with each other so quickly. So now imagine that, but on the level that things are gonna be on in this society. There's a reason the Lord talked about the love of many waxing cold. All right, there's a reason the scriptures talk about how there's gonna be so much violence. All right, incontinency shall be basically, out of control, upon the earth. It's gonna get bad, man, and a lot of people are gonna be hurt when either the people they didn't expect to do that to them, turn on them, turn them in, or leave them for dead. Don't forget that. Leave them for dead. You're gonna have situations where you may be roaming with somebody, all right, and maybe you may get injured, or something may happen, and you're thinking they're coming to help you. No, they're gone. Especially if you're being chased. Yeah, you may trip, or you may fall, something may happen to you, and they just turn around. They don't even turn around. You call them and they're gone. All right. And in that moment of realization, you're gonna get that shock, like, oh shoot, wow. But this is ultimately why we put our faith and our trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right, but it's also to prepare your mind that there will be situations like that. Okay, and don't be overly shocked to where you lose, all sense of everything, because remember, your trust is in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And regardless of who forsakes you on the earth, the Lord, if you're of his elect, will not forsake you. But people will get very desperate, man. And when people get desperate, especially people without the spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, people without integrity, people without honor, without any of that, they go way beyond people. All right, they just become things, primitive minded creatures. Verse 5, it says, and they will deceive everyone his neighbor, and will not speak the truth. And it says that in 2nd Ezra, I believe the 5th chapter or so, where one land shall ask another, has the way that maketh a man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say no. And at that time shall men hope and nothing obtain. Okay, it says they have taught their tongue to speak lies and weary themselves to commit iniquity. And you see this in all these movies, man. And the TV shows, The Walking Dead. The Book of Eli is always set up after another setup, because people get desperate, even in Black Summer, and they pose as though they're trying to help you, but really they're trying to trap you. You're going to be seeing a lot of that during Jacob's trouble, and that's why the scriptures say that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, because not only the general wisdom and knowledge, but the actual spirit the Lord is going to put on you, whether to be deceived or whether to perceive the deception. Okay? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 5. It says, the fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in the Lord shall be safe. Remember, that's always your first go-to. Put your trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay? And do what's right. You see, there are people who, they have it in their mind, they know to do what's right, but because nobody else is doing it, they won't do it. Even though they know it to be right. The scriptures say, follow not a multitude to do evil. But they'll do evil because they don't want to be the only one doing what's right. No, you have to do what's right. The scriptures say in the book of Timothy, continue thou in the things which thou hast learned. You have to continue in these things, man. Even if there's no, we're in a land with a little to no morals in this land. It's a low land, morally and physically and all spiritually, all of it. But we don't let that dictate or determine the level of our morale or the level of the spirit that we're in. But a lot of people are going to be heavily influenced by that. Because it's chaotic outside, people are going to get chaotic up in the head, inside. All right? They're going to be mentally driven. They're going to be crazed. All right? Because they're going to be drunk off of chaos. And when people get to the point of desperation so bad, they become selfish. All right? It's about me first. They forget sacrifice. Forget selflessness. Forget looking out. Promises, words, they don't mean nothing. Okay, they at that point, man, when that adrenaline is pumping, okay, and their brain is telling them run or turn them in or steal their food or kill them, people will do that. And you might be surprised how somebody that you're close to turns on you and tries to kill you, and you're like, what the hell? Because there's gonna be spirits out here on people, man. This is the book of Psalms 118:8. It is better to trust in the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, than to put confidence in man. It is better to trust in the Lord Yahweh than to put confidence in princes. Okay? You need to trust the Lord first and foremost, and He will lead you where to go. Because you never know what somebody else is thinking. And like I said, this show is a good example of that. Because as they're sitting at the tribal council and they think that they're good and they think they have an alliance and they think this person is looking out for them, you never know what the other person is thinking. Next thing you know, they flip on you and you see your name getting voted out. And you turn around, what the hell? Hold up, you turned? Oh shit. So I actually have a couple of precepts here in the Apocrypha because there's some very good precepts and some of these books, man, that really teach you how to be not only discreet, but how to be wise, how to read people, how to, what to expect from people. What are basic reactions? What are the basic nature of people? All right, now this is the book of Ecclesiasticus 37:1. Every friend saith, I am his friend also, but there is a friend which is only a friend in name. And we all know those, we all have those or know those people. All right. They're your friend, but they're not your friend because they're your friend, but they're that one friend that you can never go to. You ever notice there's that one person who, whenever you need help, they need help. Yo, bro, damn, I just went through my car just broke down and I don't even have money to, that's crazy you saying that, bro. My car broke down last week, bro. Bro, I'm in the shop right now. Like, that's crazy. My leg hurt. I'm in the ER, actually. They about to take care of me real quick. So that's crazy. If anything, you could send me some bread. Jake, you just got those kind of people who just, they don't exhibit any form of friendship, But they'll be the same ones who turn around and say, oh, yo, that's my son. Yo, that's my bro right there. What? Nah, that's my day one, We go way back, way back to what? So there's a friend that says I am also his friend, right? Every friend saith I am also his friend, but there is a friend which is only a friend in name, meaning when the time comes when you actually rely on them or need them, they're not there. All right? They're on your friends list, but they ain't there in real life. Okay? Next, so you got to keep that in mind. That's why the scriptures talk about being circumspect. Okay? And don't be shocked. Don't be overly shocked when people turn, man. The scriptures talk about that in the last days. All these things perilous times are gonna come, and a lot of people are gonna fall off. All right, they're gonna give heed to seducing spirits, whether in doctrine or in just character, or in the spirit, really. Because once that spirit of the Lord leaves them, they're a different person. Okay, and there are gonna be situations like that. Okay, there are gonna be situations where people just break. They just break. They just quit. You know, they don't want to do it anymore. This truth is too hard. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. And there's nothing you can do about it. This might have been somebody that you really wanted to keep pushing on to the end. But if you are in war and they stop and they just drop and lose all hope, you cannot stand there on the middle of the battlefield trying to, you've tried and they're not getting it. You have to keep going. The scriptures talk about seeking your own salvation. We're all motivating one another, but we're not running for one another. We're running for each other. We're in the sense that I'm running for me, you're running for you, but we're motivating each other to run. Okay? I'm not telling you I'm going to run your race for you. I got to run mine. All right? But I will motivate you to run yours. And if that's not working, there's not much I can do for you, because guess what? I still got a race to run. Okay? We still got salvation to seek after. Okay? So, that's just to show you, man, as I'm going through these precepts, that this is something that Yahushua experienced it. Paul experienced it. The men of old experienced it. It's not going to be, and Jake is grimy as hell, especially in this time. So you will see that betrayal, man, and you might experience it, and it will hurt, because we're still in the flesh. But you need to, in that time, there's going to be no room for in your feelings. You're going to have to just lock into the spirit and just keep going. Just be numb to it. But keep in mind that when it comes to survival, if they'll do this in a game, all right, if they'll do this in a game for $1 million, all right, they'll do things that they can't, things that completely break other people's, they will do whatever for that. How much more for their life? How much more for real life? So this is another part of it. People will lose it. And it will be shocking depending on who it is. But you cannot let that break you. And you cannot let that sway you from the path that you have to run. You have to remain focused. Okay, this is Ecclesiasticus 12:9. In the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved. But in his adversity, even a friend will depart. Okay? Even a friend will depart. And that's why we just read about a friend that is only a friend in name. All right, here it is. Hey, even according to prophecy, but even Yahushua's disciples scattered. Okay, when they came for him. Now you had Peter, followed him and so on and so forth. But it's fear. Fear gets to people, and it works on people in different ways. And this is why we also have to pray to remain faithful, to remain bold, to remain courageous. For the Lord to keep his spirit upon us, that we don't end up being somebody that turns on our brothers. Okay, or somebody that sells out. Or somebody that gets crippled with fear, or somebody that just loses hope or gives up. We got to pray that the Lord keeps his spirit of firmness on us so we stay rooted. So that we don't turn on others and we don't lose our mind if they turn on us. Because we've already been warned that you will have some that'll deliver up others unto death. All right, moving on. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus 7:18. It says, change not a friend for any. Now this is a precept I just put to I put it to the side, because as I was I was doing a word search for some of these precepts, it popped up. I was like, yeah, this is a good one. I didn't plan to use it for this lesson, but as the spirit is, okay, I'm still gonna go through it anyway. So Ecclesiasticus 7:18, change not a friend for any good by no means, neither a faithful brother for the gold of Ophir. Oh, actually, second thought, I was gonna use this. All right, but don't sell out. Don't sell out your brother, man. Change not a good friend for any good By no means. There's no value you can put on one of the Lord's chosen. Put it like that. Neither a faithful brother for the gold of Ophir. Because people will sell you for the freaking iron of the streets. All right, let alone gold of Ophir. But it says here, don't do that, man. You think you're gonna turn around and show a dishonorable character, no integrity, and the Lord is going to say, yeah, let me deliver you and make you a king over my people? No. You're gonna abandon your brother. But the Lord said love is, hey, somebody willing to go as far as to lose your life for your brother. But you turn around and betray them, and the Lord is supposed to welcome you with open arms? No. So as it says, change not a friend for any good by no means. But see, people don't care. This is for people who actually have integrity. People do not care about things like this. And it gets harder to actually show forth this when adversity hits. Because instinctively of the flesh, it's about you know, the host. You know, you got to survive first before anybody, but you need to override those feelings. Just like your flesh desires to do things, and you override that, if it's going off with the spirit, your flesh out of fear, okay, will innately want to do something, but you need to override that. Your flesh out of fear will immediately want to run, immediately want to, you know, do whatever it is to get out of that uncomfortable situation. As some people will say, they'll do whatever it takes. No, you're bound. You have boundaries, which is what's right according to the Spirit, what's righteous and what's wicked. So it's not about doing whatever it takes. It's doing whatever it takes within the boundary of righteousness, not crossing over the threshold into wickedness because it's, well, I'm doing whatever it takes. No. Because then you have, if you look at a situation like the brothers, the 7 brothers and their mother in the book of Maccabees, they didn't do whatever it takes to survive, because if they did whatever it takes to survive, they would have eaten that pork. See, there was a boundary that they couldn't cross, because they showed that firmness and that faithfulness to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. If anything, you should do whatever it takes to remain faithful. Do whatever it takes to remain or maintain your integrity. That's what you should do. Because even survival does not come above your faith. And that's why Paul said, nothing shall by any means be able to separate us from the love of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. So lastly, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 verse 10. It says, again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction. Okay? And will not continue in the day of thy affliction. So overall, not saying, you know, go around side-eyeing every brother. Okay? But situations like this will happen, especially when things get bad. People are going to, it's going to be so bad, they're not going to be able to stand firm. And people will run, they will leave you for dead, they will forsake you. Situations like that will happen. But the point is, don't let that bug you out, because it can. Okay? It can. People can get so caught up in how could he have done that? Him, and then you lose sight of what's most important at hand. You cannot let that happen to you. Okay? Did Yahushua bug out and lose his mind over his betrayal? No. Okay, so we understand ahead of time that situations like this will happen. And I gave you an example on a low level with that TV show, but on a real scale, it'll be much more intense. But you have to stay firm, all right, with that helmet of salvation and just keep on pushing. Okay, so with that, I hope you were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahushai B'Hashem, Rakah Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.